And we're back. All right. Okay, one of the things. Okay, let's pull this up over here. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so this I've watched this guy's channel for a while. I have been the Unreal Engine. It looks like an amazing tool, and I've watched a lot of tutorials of people showing all the cool stuff that you can do with it. Some of it for game development, some for film and special effects. And I kind of broke things down to make a project that builds on top of itself. That's what I'm all about. You know, learn one thing and then apply that to all the other things. So I've kind of broken down a movement system for a first person, third person game, and it's apparently it's not too hard to set that up here in at least the character and moving around with WADs. That shouldn't be hard at all, apparently, because the engine basically does most of that stuff for you, and we just need to plop somebody in there. So that's probably what we're gonna do. Now let's see here. I had Unreal Engine 5, third and first person camera switch. Well, that's not. Oh, it's not there. Let's see here. Okay, let's edit that because this. Let's get rid of these. Okay, let's just start a new chat. And we're going to select the Unreal Engine 5 Expert. Can you search the web and find me a tutorial follow that will help me learn following. Create a third-person character with movement, jumping, crouching. Add first-person, third-person switching, camera toggle. Add basic sprinting and stamina bar. Bonus, toggle mesh visibility in first person. I don't know what that is, but we'll figure it out. Oh, it can't browse the web directly. All right, let's see if we can't search. This is his video, how I made Skyrim, which is he made it. He remade it in a week. So I know what I'm attempting here. I just want to learn how to do it. I really do. Let's see what he's got. We can search him. So let's just look for third person. Okay. Third person tutorial, Unreal Engine 5. Okay, well that's a third-person shooter. And this is 1 year ago. It's Easy Unreal. Excuse me. Creating an action role-playing game, Unreal AR tutorial series. That's probably going to be it. Let's see. Let's just take a look at the channel real quick.
What is going on, guys? This is your boy.
Okay, got 25,000 subscribers. You don't get that many subscribers unless you're doing something right. So people seem to like this guy. He's showing up in the algorithm and stuff. So that means people are liking his videos. And let's check. Oh, this is what we need. This is one of the things I need right here. Hold on. Let's copy that. Let's go to the dialogue system, because in my opinion the dialogue system is not going to be complete until it's got a cinematic camera system option. We will get something started, okay, so let's put that there, and we were going to what happened? This one. Now let me see this guy real quick.
What's up, guys? Welcome to new UE5 tutorial. Today I will be covering on what my upcoming Unreal Engine 5 RPG tutorial series will consist of.
Okay, this has got more views. 6K likes. Oh, he's got the project files and Patreon. Look at this guy. He knows what he's doing. I'll be thankful for a lifetime for this series. Okay. Okay, the only thing that I'm worried about, excuse me, is that this is 2 years old, where the other video, this one, is not. So let's start with this guy and see what we can do. So RPG game tutorial series, Assassin's Creed Last of Us. That's fine. It's third person, so we want to do that.
Series, and it will be oriented towards an Assassin's Creed Origins style. Now, of course, that's the style towards it, but you can customize everything to your likes as we go. So the series will cover a lot of different systems, such as an advanced locomotion, inventory system, AI, open world map, missions, and much more. I will try to keep each episode to around 12 minutes, like my videos usually are. But there may be some cases where, systems we are making motion.
I do kind of want to, let's see here. Oh, wait, well, why don't we just go through this and then we can ask the AI to help us do the, tweak the things we want to tweak. Like, it shouldn't be, if I can go through this and we do the first one and we have a character that can walk and move around and stuff, then I can ask the AI to give me a tutorial or find me a tutorial on how to get the third person camera toggle to first person, because that's like one of the really good immersive things about Skyrim. So
until the free packs for the
let's finish this guy's intro. He's clearly put some time into this. The audio is really good. He's got some nice music in the background. I appreciate the level of effort that's gone into making this already. So if anything, that should be an indicator about the quality of the rest of the series. He's no nonsense, no unnecessary big preamble or anything. He's just like, here's the information, so I can dig that. I don't think we're going to need the project files. We've got a bunch of stuff already. Let me shut up and let's watch this.
Etc. as we go. So at the end you will have a complete RPG game with an open world to explore. In the next episode, which will really be the first one, we will start creating the basics of the locomotion system, such as the blend space, animation blueprints, start-stop animations, crouching, etc. So if as you follow the series you found it helpful, I would really appreciate you could like the videos and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you won't miss any tutorial. and recommend it to a friend. It will really help me a lot. So with all that said, see you tomorrow in the first episode. What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today we are starting with the RPG tutorial series. I am very excited. We will begin with the base of the locomotion, and we will start setting up the blend spaces, animation blueprint, procedural leaning, and more. We will set up 2 states, unarmed and crouch, so we can start to get the feel of the character's movement, and we can add a stop animation to make it more fluid, and procedural leaning, as I mentioned before, to make it feel more vivid. This video might be a bit longer than expected or compared to others, but I wanted to get these locomotion aspects done in this first video. This is only the start of the core elements of the locomotion system, so with time we will add the Assassin's Creed parkour elements such as vaulting, etc. It's gonna be a very easy video to follow, so let's get started. Alright, so let's create a new UE project. I will be using the latest version of Unreal Engine 5.1.1, and I do recommend that you use the latest version too, or at least my one. If you are still in UE 5.0, it should still be okay, but always try to use the latest one, which again, I will be using 5.1.1, which actually just released a few days ago. So we're gonna be using the third person template, as it is a great starting point for an RPG game. We'll be using only blueprints, so make sure that blueprints is selected. Now the other options you can customize as we go. I will be using dex up, maximum, started content, and ray tracing off, but you can change this later on, so it doesn't really matter. Go ahead and choose the file location for your project, and then we can put a name. In my case, let's do, for example, RPG underscore tutorial series. And as we cannot put any spaces, we need to put underscores. And that's pretty much it. Again, make sure blueprint is selected, and third person, and your good location and the name, and now we can go ahead and click create. Alright, so project created. So let's get started by importing the animations that I have left in the description. There are some basic locomotion animations from Lyra's template, so they're completely free and available from Epic Games. But because it is too much of a puzzle to create a Lyra project and import them one by one, and it will fill up a lot of your space on this on your computer. What I did was just export the ones that we need and left them in the description. So let's go ahead and load them, and now we can go ahead and import them. So we're going to just go to the characters folder, and then what I'm going to do is create a new folder, and this will be RPG underscore character. When we have a proper name for a character, if you want to, we can later on change the name. Let's go ahead and enter, and now we want to create a new folder for these animations. So let's get started by importing the animation. animations that I have left in the description. There are some basic locomotion animations from Lyra's template, so they're completely free and available from Epic Games. But because it is too much of a puzzle to create a Lyra proid and import them one by one, and it will fill up a lot of your space on disk on your computer, what I did was just export the ones that we need and left them in the description. So let's go ahead and load them, and now we can go ahead and import them. So what we're going to do is go into the characters folder, and then what I'm going to do is create a new folder, and this will be RPG underscore character. When we have a proper name for a character, if you want, we can later on change the name. Let's go ahead and enter, and now we want to create a new folder for these animations. Let's go ahead and enter, and now let's go ahead and open the folder. So I don't know if I would have made a zip, but if so, just unzip them. Now select all of them and just drag them into the content browser. Let's go ahead and open the folder. So I don't know if I would have made a zip, but if so, just unzip them. Now select all of them and just drag them into the content browser. So now this window will pop up. So first of all, let's go up here and reset them to default. So we have all these.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thanks for. Oh, my bad. Thanks for letting me know. I'm still waking up. I'm still having my coffee. I'm drinking a soda too. Thanks for letting me know, Merlin. It was not on purpose. I think I muted it to cough, and then eating breakfast. That's cool. Welcome to the stream. I know that I said we'd be gaming on the YouTube, but making a game is still gaming. And I'm just I don't know. I'll tell you, I want to like Cyberpunk 2077. I want to like it. It has its moments, but I cannot begin to describe my disappointment that the hacking, I get that the stuff when you like mouse over and choose abilities, okay, that meshes with the gun combat, fine. But the hacking, when like you go to jack into a terminal and you connect to it, it's just a number puzzle. And I'm working on this theory, and it's going to be some of the things that I talk about in the documentary of the Skyrim music video. Gaming's starting to get into a rut because everybody's kind of like developing their game thinking of this, or that people are going to need to use this. I don't think anybody's like made a game just for PC in a long time. And I think that's what's holding the games industry back. We got to make something just for the PC and actually uses like, tons of hotkeys and stuff. So, somebody who's actually like a gamer can get into it. I mean, there would be like so many hotkeys and controls and typing and stuff that that you can use a controller probably for like the combat or something, but or walking around and that kind of stuff. But like you need a mouse and a keyboard to do other things. So we're gonna see. Like I've had all these ideas. I love Skyrim. I have this like fantasy slash cyberpunk universe in my head. That's has I've been building it in my head for like damn near 2 decades now. So one of the things that I like is exploring and learning things as the game goes along. So instead of writing the novel, instead of doing any of that kind of stuff, it's like, why don't we see if we can just, make the basics of a game here, and then, you can tell your story through that and let people explore the world, and just plop them in, and I just have to start learning stuff. And I have all of these ideas, and they just come to me while I'm playing a game. I'm just like, I really wish. Here's a good example: Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I saw in their crafting, you actually take like a mortar and pestle and you mash things down and you boil things. And you have to do a timer. Like, yes, that. Why don't we have more of that? Why is, with all of our programming and computing knowledge and resources and stuff, why is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 the exception? Right? Why is everything still, push button, watch progress bar? Now you have the item. Why? Like, that made sense in the 16-bit era. It made sense in the 32-bit era. But we're in the 64-bit era, and now there's AI. So like, it's not going to make everything for us, but. Anyway, all right, I'm on a rant. Let's shut up and just do it. I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to do it.
These settings like normal. So we have to go ahead and select skeleton. In our case, it will be.
That's the other thing about this channel. Like, there's a lot of people out there that make critical content of things, and I love it. Critical Drinker, It's a Gundam, those types. But like, it's time to start. It's time to stop talking about how terrible everything is and put that energy towards making something.
The SK mannequin, the normal UE5 mannequin. Now, don't make the mistake of going ahead selecting the Alt UE4 one.
Okay, I got terrain. Let's see.
Now select all of them and just drag them into the content browser. So now this window will pop up. So first of all, let's go up here and reset them to default so we have all these settings like normal.
Okay, I'm gonna press it anyway because he said so. Oh no, see, ooh, this is different. It's different. I knew this was gonna be a thing. This video is 2 years old. Oops. Let's see what we can get out of it.
So we have to go ahead and select skeleton. In our case, it will be the SK mannequin.
Mesh skeleton. Okay. Well, all of these are gonna be part of that. So. Common skeletal meshes. Okay, the interface is just so different, and I have no idea what I'm doing. So let's find a more recent tutorial. Let's go back to that other channel. What do we got here? This is from 3 years ago. This ain't right. Let's search specifically for third person ARPG tutorial Unreal Engine 5 5.5. Okay, I guess. Well, this doesn't mean that it's 5.5. Let's see. Yeah, 3 years ago. V 5.5. And then filters. This year. Alright, show me what you got. Advanced ARPG Combat V3 overview. Yeah, maybe. Hold on. How to create a Souls-like game in Unreal Engine 5 full course 6 months ago. looking for a Souls-like game, but you know, the movement and all that kind of stuff is the same. So that's only 6 months old, so we're probably going to do that one. What's he got? Okay, this is rather long. Who is this guy? Okay, well, he's nothing to shake a stick at. Is he still active? Yeah, he just uploaded something 23 minutes ago. Gonna be in and out of chat, Merlin. Okay, no worries, man. Yes, I love to listen to things. I'm always listening to an audiobook or a podcast or something while I do the chores. It's good to have the mind engaged while you're doing things that are rote to the hands. How to make an actor always face the player. Ooh, that's good. Let's go to videos and see what he's got. Zombie AI. Zoom in when aiming. Okay, I like how he's broken, and we probably might stick with this channel. He's putting out a lot of content very recently too. Grapple mechanic. Black Friday deal. Unreal Engine 5 fully out game animation sample new. Alright, well let's watch and then this is that video. And then this is probably where he makes his money, selling these asset packs for cheap. Okay, so there's... Alright, well let's watch that guy's video, and then if we like him, we'll subscribe and we'll come back. So this is a rather long video, but I didn't expect this to be easy at all. He probably covers a hell of a lot of stuff in the tutorial, so he better for 4 fucking hours. What's wrong with me? Let's just close that. Okay, we can... Okay, this is not ours. Wow, do you guys hear that? That's incredible. It's like somebody's got a bullhorn or something, but it's playing tones. What's going on? Some truck outside. I don't know what the hell's going on. That's wild. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. Let me turn it up here. That shit's just going on. That's what it's like outside. I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay. Here's the full course.
What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create a complete Souls-like game in Unreal Engine 5. This video will cover everything that you will need. You will end up with an advanced character movement, both in free and strafe mode, target locking, combo attacks, dodging, advanced enemy AI, a boss fight, a stat system, a finished short product, and much more. I want to mention that you can download the complete project through Patreon. It's available in the new Masterclasses tier. With that said, it's going to be a very easy with photo, so let's get started.
Alright, so the first thing that we need to do is create a new Unreal Engine.
I like everything but the targeting. That's the sticky targeting is not something that we might do it. We'll do it so we can toggle certain things on and off, but it's not gonna be something that's on by default.
Project. In this case, I am going to be using the latest Unreal version 5.4.4, and I do recommend that you use the same version as me or above. With that said, let's go inside of the game section and select the third person template. With this template, we will already have a working character movement that we can use to go directly into the actual Souls-like content. Now on the project default settings, let's go ahead and click blueprint, target platform as desktop, quality preset depends on your hardware. In my case, I am going to leave it as maximum. Started content, let's just go ahead and enable this just in case to have some extra props. And then ray tracing depends. I have go ahead and do when I create a new project is to anchor the content browser at the bottom of my screen. So let's go up into window, content browser, and select the first content browser.
Okay,
and
we just did
drag
that.
the tab until the bottom.
Okay, we did that.
And there we go. With that said, we're good to go ahead and begin implementing all of our Souls-like mechanics. Right now, as you can see, we have a simple third-person character, but we have some basic animations, and we only have one free movement, where the character orients to the direction that is going. But in Souls-like games, we can also target a specific, enemy. And when we target an enemy, our camera will be always focused. So if we go backwards, our character will not actually face back.
Well, I'm confused. Like, where is the tutorial for putting the character there? We just completely skipped over that part? Okay, for doing this in Unreal Engine 5.5, some things have changed as per usual, and you might experience issues. The context menu is very long. Okay, it looks like we're just not going to get a tutorial. We're just going to have to go, we're going to have to do this the hard way. Because all of the tutorials are out of date because they just released 5.5 like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they moved a bunch of stuff around. So there, and I don't know enough about any of this stuff to be able to, know where to go look. Not one of these days. So, let's search again, and let's just let's find out when 5.5 came out. When did the current version of Unreal Engine 5.5, what is it, 5.5.5? About Unreal Editor. It's 5.5.4. Okay, close. Come out. March 11th. No shit. Okay. Came out on March 11th, so that means that it's things that are, so if I filter, let's get rid of that and do filters and just search for the last month. Yeah, I'm scrolling through these and there aren't any tutorials out yet. Okay, so we're going to go to the source. We're going to do this the hard way. I mean, it probably doesn't have to be the hard way, but they should have their documentation updated. So let's access that through here. There's help. Is level editor documentation. We'll visit Unreal Engine. Okay, Unreal Engine. Learning library. Getting started. There we go. Getting started. Are you new to Unreal Engine? Want to jumpstart your creative journey? Can you guys hear that? Is this happening right now? I don't even know what's going on. I cannot begin to describe to you how loud that thing is. I mean, that truck, I can't even see where the truck is coming from, where that's coming from. And like, we got like a foot and a half thick concrete walls, and it's just wild how loud that is. Okay, so dev community getting started. So there's games. We're going to start with games, but we'll definitely look at the film and TV stuff. Learning how to navigate for the game stuff should make the film and TV stuff easy. So, are you new to Unreal Engine? Want to jumpstart your creative journey? If you want to learn the basics of Unreal Engine, take a look at the learning materials below. Introduction to your first hour in Unreal Engine 5. Tutorial, your first game in Unreal Engine 5. Learning path, begin, play the developer-focused overview of Unreal Engine's features and tools. And then there's sample projects. Okay, so I this isn't really the hard way. Let's open this up in a new window. Migrating from Unity. All right. Let's filter for Epic Games. And we only want tutorials. All right, why not? Before we get looking at that, let's just start on the stuff that's got this course. So course introduction to your first hour in Unreal Engine 5. That seems good. Oh my God, look at this. Your first hour in Unreal Engine 5.2. The last time this documentation was updated was on September 18th, 2023. Well, all right. Let me see if I can search for something newer. But, and this is written by the staff. Okay. All right, dev community. Categories tutorial. Let's just open. Oh, and course. Let's look at the courses. And what can we filter? Can we filter release? Yeah, we went on Unreal Engine 5. Let's check off courses, learning. Let's actually, yeah, courses, learning paths, tutorials. Okay, that's better. 2025 crash course for new Unreal Engine developers. Procedural content generation framework. Crash course state tree hide and seek. Yeah, that one says your first hour at 5.2. Okay, well, let's take a look at this one. Crash course for developers. Making an animation in Engine with an in-engine rig. In this section, we walk through how to create a control rig for your character with modules. All right, that's pretty advanced. In this step, we create a game model and a player pawn that we can use to play our newly created animation. Okay, so I guess it shows you how to do the animation and everything. But we're not there yet. We just want to learn. We just want to use and there's no way to published on. Search for published on. When did this come out? March 20th. Okay. Okay, so now here's all the most recent stuff. Programming tutorials, crash courses. So we've got crash course for new Unreal Engine developers. And this one has us in-engine animation, playing an animation on a character, making, oh, well, I guess we'll do this one. Quickly populating a landscape with procedural content generator. This is also like showing off some of the new features in the version, and I'm not interested in that. Let's check off learning paths. Okay, that's from 2024. You know what? It might actually be worth it to go to one of these guys to become a patron of one of these dudes' channels that have that are active and have a lot of content, because then you can just ask questions, and that would probably be worth it. Oh my God, there it goes again. Why? I don't understand. I just, it's so weird. What purpose could it possibly serve to be playing all these tones at this high volume? Are they trying to make somebody deaf? Wow, I'm gonna mute the mic while that's going on. Okay, it's done. They were saying something, but it was in Spanish. All right. Let's see if we can't get through. Where did it go? This one right here, your first hour. So this one's like stickied, and it's on the very beginning. So let's see if we can use this to get through it, and if not, we'll see about getting. We'll become a patron of one of these folks that offer support. It's because things are just changing too much. So runtime 51 minutes. What you learn: create new objects using the project templates. Add custom or pre-made assets to existing projects when can be accessed in the content browser. Add actors to levels and modify their properties with the details panel. Add and control environmental lighting and effects with a scene with lighting actors. Use blueprint actors with the blueprint editor. Project file. Learning kit. Okay, so I do that, and then what? Okay, here's a video.
Page stems from for a platform. We can go account.
Okay, and then everything else is a video?
No.
All right. Let's do it. So I'm reading through blah, 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 project files. Let's get those project files. Online learning kit. All right, let's add that to the library. Okay, so we got that. I think we'll... Okay. All right, show me what you got.
Hello, my name is Matthew Wadstein, and welcome to your first hour with Unreal Engine 5.2. We're going to take a high-level look at Unreal Engine today, introduce you to the basics of how it works, and create a small project to experiment with that we will use as the beginning of our journey.
Perfect.
After you've installed the launcher and logged in, you're going to come to this page. If you don't come to this page, on the left-hand side we have options for Store, Library, and Unreal Engine. Go ahead and click on Unreal Engine to load up the Unreal Engine section. Now looking along the top we have a few options. News is going to give us all the news that's current and up to date for Unreal Engine. Next to this we have the Sample section. The Sample section is going to be a bunch of pre-made samples that help us explore the engine, as well as showcase new content as it comes out. Next to this is our Marketplace. Our Marketplace is where we can go in order to purchase or receive free items from Epic as well as other content creators. Next to this is Library, and this is where you'll do the majority of the managing for the engine versions and your projects, as well as downloaded content from the Marketplace. Since we're just starting out, we need to go ahead and install Unreal Engine so we can start using it. Here we can see under engine versions, I already have 2 of them installed, 4.27 and 5.0. You can have as many engine versions installed as you would like that you have space for. They all exist side by side. For example, you might have projects using an older version and newer versions all at the same time. To add a new version, click the plus button next to engine versions, and you'll get the ability to install a new version based on whatever you'd like. And here, with this drop down on the top right, you'll go ahead and have access to the latest version of Unreal Engine as well as all the older versions. Since this course is
we have access to all the older versions. Oh, so I can install an older version and then go through the tutorial and follow along with it. All right, I'm going to finish this tutorial because okay, going through this tutorial was already worth it because I just learned that. I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but now that I know I can install previous versions of the engine, now I can match up that version with the tutorial I'm watching, and I can learn more stuff. Okay, all right. Well, let's get this is awesome. So that's the check off. Good job, done right there. I'm going to keep it going. We'll go through maybe we'll learn some more interesting details like that as we go along through this.
Regarding 5.2, go ahead and choose 5.2 and install it. After we click the install button, we can choose the install location and change some options.
Okay, he's asking us to do it, so let's do it. Let's follow along. Engine version. Oh, wait, not that. Engine version. He wants 5.2. 5.21? What? I like how it says install 5.2. But there's only a 5.21. I guess they must have, the 0.1 must have been we really fucked something up and had to fix it. Is somebody knocking? Maybe that was a cat. All right. So 2.1. So I think that's close enough. So we'll go ahead and install it. Yes. Okay. And now that we know we can use the same version as the tutorial and we have access to all the previous versions, we should be able to learn a lot more. That's 21 gigabytes. That's not we got plenty of space, but that's 21 gigabytes for the most powerful graphics engine known to man.
Install location and change some options. I would recommend clicking the option button and going through these lists. Engine source is one thing you can uncheck. You probably won't need it when you're first starting out. It'll save you some space. And if you scroll down, you can see target platforms.
Oh, all right. Well, let's. I clicked too soon, so let's do 2.1. Remove. Well, I guess I have to. Cute. Okay, resuming. Okay, it's downloading again. We'll just let it ride.
Since we're just starting out, I'm going to uncheck all the target platforms so I can reduce the amount of download size and space on my drive. I'll hit apply.
Well, we're just
I'll hit
downloading the
install,
whole shebang.
and it's going to go ahead and start downloading. We can click on downloads in the bottom left, and we can see it's installing Unreal Engine 5.2.0, the progress, as well as anything else that is queued up. While that's installing, let's look at the other parts of this launcher. We have My Projects below this. This is a listing of all the projects that I've started. We can see their names. We can see the engine version in the bottom right. We can even see Other for custom versions that I've installed. Below this, we have our Vault. These are all the items that we've added to our account from the marketplace, and where you can create projects or add content to existing projects. Going back to our marketplace, this is where we can find free and paid content. In the free section, let's click on UE Online Learning. This is
No, let's go there. Boom. Boom. Oh, this is the game store. We want to go. Marketplace. It's got to be Fab these days. So Fab. Okay, the marketplace is no longer embedded in the thing. It gives you this. Let me see if I can find education. Okay, so it's probably an education and tutorials. So let's keep it going, and we should be able to find it in here.
This is the content related to Unreal Engine for the online learning content. In here, we can go ahead and look for the online learning kit. If you can't find it, we can search for online learning kit, and you can find it that way.
Okay, let's find it. Okay, I just downloaded it. Okay. I got that earlier.
Go ahead and click on it, and you can see all the information available to you for this online learning kit. We can see things such as what type of download it is, a complete project or an asset pack, any supported engine versions, and any supported platforms. Go ahead and click on free in order to add this to your account. After it's been added to the account, it'll give you the ability to either create a new project or add it to an existing one. Since this is a complete project, go ahead and click Create Project. Go ahead and pick the folder where you want this to install and hit Create. Here we can see back in my library.
Let's figure that out. Okay, that'll be finished downloading in 3 minutes. And let's go to library. And let's find the online learning kit right there. And I just hit create project. Okay, select version of the engine for project 5.2. Yes. Double check. 5.2. Yes. Online learning kit. It's in documents, Unreal projects. That's fine. We'll move this stuff later. Create. Oh, and we can't open it up yet because it's still downloading. Got it. All right, let's keep watching.
Library. In my download section, Unreal Engine is still installing, and I have my online learning kit queued up. Once the engine and the assets have been downloaded, you'll see them appear in your library. Coming up, we'll create a new blueprint project using the third-person template. and I have my online learning.
Okay, so it's gonna he's gonna have us do the third person template. All right, so creating your first project.
Now that we are prepared to work with Unreal Engine, let's launch the editor and get to work. Inside our library tab, we can see all of our installed engine versions. Let's click on launch for the one we want to use and get it loaded. I have two options here. I can click on launch next to the version I'd like, or in the top right, I can change to the different versions and quick launch. Go ahead and launch the project browser however you'd like, and the editor will start up. If this is the first time you're launching this version, it may require the prerequisites to be installed. And here we can see we have our Unreal Project Browser. This is where we can manage the projects that we've opened up and created inside of Unreal Engine, as well as create new projects using the included templates. Here we can see all of our recent projects, which should be similar to the Library tab, My Projects, inside of our launcher. If I want to, I can click on any of these projects and open them up. I can also browse, and I can choose any other project that might already be on my drive that I haven't added to this project browser yet. On the left, we have our different templates sorted by the different categories. This gives you a leg up on creating your project by allowing you to have a project, for example, the third person template, which gives you some features built in and ready for you to get started. Go ahead and choose third person as the template we're going to be using. Make sure it's set to blueprint, and make sure starter content is checked. Go ahead and pick the location where you want your project to be created and name it. In my case, I might want to call this Your First Hour. And you'll notice I come across an issue. Project names may not contain a space. There are some restricted characters for project names, and it will let you know if there is one. So I'm going to go ahead and just simply delete my spaces, and I'll go ahead and create the project.
Okay, we should be able to catch up to that. It should be done downloading. It is another 90 seconds. We'll keep watching. That's all relatively straightforward.
While the project is being created, it may need to compile shaders. This may take some time, so just go ahead and wait for it to finish. Once it's done, your editor will open up. And here we can see we have our editor opened up to our third-person map because we chose the third-person template.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our editor and how we can navigate around it and work with the items inside of it. The primary window which we can see is our viewport. This is our view into our world. Let's look at navigating around our viewport. Holding down the right mouse button will allow us to look around.
Okay, here, let me move this over here on this screen. And then let's move this up here. Oh, we're still waiting. I was gonna like follow along with him. But we got it. You know what? Let me take a quick 2-minute break. Actually, let's make it a 3-minute break and just be a quick bio. Where is my thing? There we go. Oh, and is that? Let's see. 3 minutes. Start. All right, so that should be there. Okay, cool. Be back in 3 minutes, y'all. Quick bio break, and then we're gonna hunker down and keep going. Okay. And we're back. It still says, okay, installing's at 85%. What the hell? That's the fire alarm. Let me mute the thing. Okay, sorry about that. Roommate was cooking some bacon. Set the fire alarm off. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Oh man. All right. Well, I don't blame everybody for leaving after that. So let's try it again. All right. So it's verifying. We're at 93%. This is like the 5th time we've been interrupted. It's almost as if like the world doesn't want me to know to learn this power. $95. Here, let's wait for it to be done. 96. Almost there. Almost there. All right. Let's keep watching. All right, so we'll pull this over here. Oh, that's right. I was gonna watch the tutorial and then share this on my screen so you folks could see me moving around, and that'd be a lot more interesting than just sitting here watching the tutorial together. Is that it? Did it finally switch over? Oh, there we go. Yes. Okay, let's try it. Let's build. So it was online learning kit, create project. Wait, don't create. Okay, name, online learning kit, project name, that's fine. Version 5.2, that's right. Create. Okay. All right, online learning kit, so.
And I'll go ahead and create the project. While the project is being created, it may need to compile shaders. This may take some time, so just go ahead and wait for it to finish. Once it's done, your editor will open up. And here we can see we have our editor opened up to our third-person map because we chose the third-person template. Let's go ahead and take a look at our editor.
Well, that's not what we've got. So there is no template here. So I was following along with the way he did that, but I already know what's going on here. So let's allow access here. Let's go back to Unreal Engine, library. Okay, we can delete this actually. How do you delete things? Okay, so let's just launch. Prerequisites. I guess that means it's doing something. Oh, there it is. Oh, here we go. So oh, that's a very old .NET. Download and install. Microsoft.NET Framework 2.0 and 3.0. Wow. We'll actually close this real quick because in fact, we're going to close the launcher all the way. And we will relaunch Unreal Engine after these frameworks are installed. Fully installed. Okay, close. You might need to restart apps. Yeah, I figured. Okay, so here we go again. We're going to launch. This is the 5.21. Launch this. You got to build shaders. Okay, now we've got something. Okay, so use Discord. Oh my god. Okay. Huh. Let's cancel. I'm trying to create a whole new project, and for some reason, I'm not doing it. Oh my gosh. Where? There's add to project. There's launch. All right, so what happens when I launch this by itself? Why am I so confused? Let's see what it looks like here when I do this. Okay. So there's cancel, but like where is the new project? Library. My projects, Fab Library, downloads, store, release notes, 2.1. I'm so confused. Do I have to delete it? Let's do it. Let's delete it. Fuck off. Or relaunch the game. Or the game engine, I guess. Come on. Okay, it's gone. So you have to you can't right click and delete the project from this interface. You have to delete the damn folder. I guess there's a good reason for that. The other thing that concerns me is that set current, create shortcut, remove, verify. There is no new project. Here, let's delete both of these. Show in folder. Unreal projects. Okay, we're going to delete all three. And then there won't be any projects. And then it should show me where to create a new project, because there won't be any other projects. All right, here we go. Unreal Engine. Library. No user projects found. Okay, let's just do a new one. Create here. There's no other options. There's nothing else to click. And it's for 5.2. So let's just create it. Okay, so here's a project. Let's launch this one. Or maybe I needed to do that first. I'm turning off the overlay. Okay. Browse. Okay. Open. Okay, now this is really interesting because it still hasn't asked me to select which type of project I want it to be. So let me just clear things out one more time, and we're gonna go at this one more different way. All right, this is the thing. Show in folder. Unreal projects. We delete the whole. We nuke the whole thing. There we go. All right, now we close it. We'll restart the entire game engine here. Actually, we haven't even loaded the game engine yet. It's supposed to prompt me. What's throwing me off is it's supposed to prompt me, what type of game do you want? Well, it's just going like, it's just loading all the assets, which is, we want those assets loaded, but we want to first have it insert that rig. Okay, so here we go. Launch. There's nothing else. It should ask us to create something new. Okay, here we go. Third person. I don't know what it looks. I just got so confused. Okay, so we fixed it. All right, so we don't have ray tracing. Quality presets fine. The project is going to be we'll just call it online learning. Okay, create. Okay, we're finally here. All right.
May require the prerequisites to be installed. Here we can see all of our recent projects, which should be similar to the added today, allowing you to have a project, for example, the third person template, which gives you some features built in and ready for you to get started. Go ahead and choose third person as the template we're going to be using. Make sure it's set to blueprint, and make sure starter content is checked. Go ahead and pick the location where you want your project to be created and name it. In my case, I might want to call this Your First Hour. And you'll notice I come across an issue. Project names may not contain a one. Project is being created. It may need to compile shaders. This may take some time, so just go ahead and wait for it to finish. Once it's done, your editor will open up. And here we can see we have our editor opened up to our third-person map.
Looks
because
exactly
we
the
chose
same.
Third-person template. Let's go ahead and take a look at our editor and how we can navigate around it and work with the items inside of it. The primary window which we can see is our viewport. This is our view into our world. Let's look at navigating around our viewport. Holding down the right mouse button will allow us to look around. Holding down the left mouse button will allow us to move in and out and look left and right. Holding down both buttons will allow us to move up, down, left and right based on our mouse movement. If we hold down the right mouse button and use the W, A, S, and D key, we can move our camera forwards, backwards, left, and right. Now this is the basics of navigating around our viewport. Let's go ahead and look at moving items around our viewport. If we were to click on any of the items in our world, we'll get a little outline and we'll get a widget that allows us to transform the item we've selected. If we want to get a better view, we can press the F or focus key to focus on the item we've selected, or we can double click on any of the items inside of the top right outliner to also focus on them. If we want to move them, we would use the translate widget. We can click on any of the arrows. It indicates a direction. We can left click mouse hold and drag the item in that direction. In the top right, we have the different controls inside of our viewport. This is where we have the ability to select items, translate them, which is allowing us to move them in the world,
Wait, go back.
outliner to also focus on them.
I was playing
If
with
we want
stuff.
to move them, we would use the translate widget. We can click on any of the arrows. It indicates a direction. We can left click mouse hold and drag the item in that direction. In the top right, we have the different controls inside of our viewport. This is where we have the ability to select items, translate them, which is allowing us to move them in the world, rotating the items, and scaling the items. And it's got the same basic setup. We can grab any of them and rotate as needed, or we can click scale, and we can scale on one of the axes, or all of them if we'd like.
Wait, let me pause this. What is this? This is scale. This is rotate. Okay. What about that way? Okay, cool, got it. Okay, and then let's play with scale. So what is scale? Ooh, let's make it bigger. Mixing it wider. Okay, very good. And then of course there is select. And what's the hotkey to get here? Q. Okay. And it's right click. Okay, and this is really easy to navigate around this way. Now that I know what I'm doing, and then we can do that. Okay. Alright, cool.
There are other controls available inside of the viewport. We can see options such as snapping, and these are covered in more detail in the documentation.
Okay.
This is fine for working with items already in our world, but what if we want to add other items?
Yes,
and that's
what
where our
if?
content browser comes in. By default, we have a content drawer in the bottom left. If we click on the content drawer, all of the items inside
Wait, what? Oh. Okay.
of our project are going to show up inside
I'm just making sure it looks the same. It does.
of the folders that they may be located in. For example, I can go into the starter content folder by double clicking. I can go into props, and I can find a bunch of pre-made props that were included because we chose starter content. If I wanted to, I could click, left mouse hold and drag, and drop those items into the world.
Oh,
But you notice
yeah.
the content drawer disappeared after we used it. If we wanted to, we can click on the content drawer, choose dock and layout. Now we have a docked content browser that we can browse through and bring other items into our world. For example, maybe I want to add a few bushes over here and have a nice area to work with. If you don't want an item, you can click on
Let me see that again.
choose dock and layout. Now we have a docked content browser that we can browse through and bring other items into our world.
Oh, wait. So let me close this. It's content drawer, and you just dock and lay. Oh, that's the same. So that it's right there. Okay.
Bunch of pre-made props that were included because we chose starter content. If I wanted to, I could click, left mouse hold and drag, and drop those items into the world. But you'll notice the content drawer disappeared after we used it. If we wanted to, we can click on the content drawer, choose dock and layout. Now we have a docked content browser that we can browse through and bring other items into our world. For example, maybe I want to add a few bushes over here and have a nice area to work with. If you don't want an item, you can click on it. You can right click, go to edit, delete, or you'll notice it says delete next to it, which is the hotkey. Anything that has a hotkey will be listed to the right of the command. So we
Wait.
have a docked content browser that we can browse through and bring other items into our world. For example, maybe I want to add a few bushes over here and have a nice area to work with. If you don't want an item, you can click on it. You can right click, go to edit, delete, or you'll notice it says delete next to it, which is the hotkey. Anything that has a hotkey will be listed to the right of the command. So we can go ahead and delete the extra items that we don't want in our world anymore. Or if we wanted to, I could go ahead and move these bushes into a new location and make my scene a little bit prettier. In the top right, I mentioned before we can double click on the items in our outliner to go ahead and focus on them. Our outliner shows all of the items or the actors that are inside of our world. We can see we have the bushes we added in, we have the default items that came with our appeared after we used it. If we wanted to, we can click on the content drawer, choose dock and layout. Now we have a docked content browser that we can browse through and bring other items into our world. For example, maybe I want to add a few bushes over here and have a nice area to work with. Delete, or that has a delete the extra items that we don't want in our world anymore. Or if we wanted to, I could go ahead and move these bushes into a new location and make my scene a little bit prettier. In the top right, I mentioned before we can double click on the items in our outliner to go ahead and focus on them. Our outliner shows all of the items or the actors that are inside of our world. We can see we have the bushes we added
So this
in.
is all this.
We have the default items that came with our third-person map. We also have some things such as the different lighting that's available to us. The outliner is the outline that shows us all of the actors in our project. We can search for individual items or choose the filter option to find specific item types. Once we have an item selected, the details panel below this gives us the details or the properties for the item we have selected. In this case, I can choose my directional light, and we can see we have things such as the intensity, or how bright our light is, and even the light color. So in this case, I can have a purple light, and now my scene is
Wait, where?
The details panel below this gives us the details or the properties for the item we have selected. In this case, I can choose my directional light, and we can see we have things such as the intensity,
Oh, it's
or
right
how
here.
bright our light is, and even the light color.
Oh, look at
So
that.
in this case, I can have a purple light, and now my scene is changed.
Yep.
Any of the properties or the settings on our actors that are in our world will be available to us inside of our details panel. Along the top, we have our main toolbar. This is where we have quick access to things such as saving our current level, changing the different mode we're working in. By default, we're in selection mode to work in the items in our viewport. The ability to quickly create extra content, such as additional lights or other blueprints. And then our quick play tools. Let's go ahead and look at those. Let's hit the play button, and you should spawn in with your character. It's going to spawn in with
Oh.
our default mannequin. Since we've chosen the third-person template, it's given us a character setup with a third-person camera and
Okay.
third-person controls. We can again
Oh, look
move
at
our
that.
mouse to look around, or use the WASD keys to move our character around the level. We can
Okay.
see our chair we set up in our bushes.
We did it.
We can run up. We can even jump, because jump was set up as part
We
of our
did it.
default third-person character.
Oh, I didn't make it.
Once you're done playtesting, you can press the escape key to stop playtesting, and we're now back in our editor.
All right, here we
Now
are.
this is the basics of setting up our project. Next, let's take a look at how we can add additional assets, such as models or materials from other sources, such as the marketplace or even other projects.
All right, give it to me. All right, next video. We're getting through it. There we go. Hey, Flame Mage, welcome. Oh, I've got my coffee. I'm having a much better day today than I was yesterday. I woke up super early yesterday with a headache, and that just threw the whole day off. But today, I was thinking, what's better than playing a video game, making the perfect video game? And I've always wanted to go through these tutorials. So let's move back over here. We are following the tutorials that are posted on the Unreal Engine site. And this is made by one of their staff members. And this is your first hour in Unreal Engine.
After you've been playing around with your project for a little bit, you might end up with something that you want to keep. This is my project, and it's messy, but it's mine, and I love it. Up to this point, we really haven't saved anything, so we should look at that first. In the top left, in our main toolbar, we have the ability to save our current level to disk. We can click that, and it's going to save our current level. In addition, we can go up to File and Save All, and they'll save all the items, maybe things we've brought in. For example, we're going to look at that during this process here, or anything we may have modified. We started with our starter content, but let's say we created this project and forgot our starter content. On the top left of our content browser is our Add button. When we click on that, we can go to Add, Feature, or Content Pack, and this will give us the ability to add content to our project that was included with the engine. For example, if we forgot the starter content, under Content, we can add that starter content to our project. Or we could add some C++ or Blueprint templates. Let's say we wanted to add the first person, we could go ahead and click on first person and add, and this will add the first person content to our third person project that we started. Okay, this is good. How do we add additional content from outside of the editor? On the launcher, we have access to the marketplace. Now, we already went here before when we created our project using the online learning kit. If you haven't done that, make sure you go ahead and do that now. This is where you can find free and paid content. For example, we go to free, Epic Games content. We can find something we might want to add to our project by going to that item. We could purchase that item, and then we could add it to our project or create a new project with it. Back inside of our library, let's go ahead and double click on the online learning kit to open it up. And you may get an error. It's asking me to choose the Unreal Engine version I want to open this project.
Okay, well, import collections. Hold on a sec. I thought we got... So here's the library. Now this is add to project, but this says create project. Okay, so things are like a little bit different. So we're going to go ahead and create. Let me make sure.
Add it to our... We'll click on the online learning kit to open it up. And you may get an error. It's asking me to choose the Unreal Engine version I want to open this project up in. If you have a project that was created in a different version than one you have installed, it's not going to be able to open it up in that engine because it's not installed. You can go ahead and select a different version of the engine. Keep in mind, it is not backwards compatible. If the project was created in 5.1 and you're trying to open it in a version of 4, it will not work. But if it was created in 5.1 and you're...
Is that what backwards compatible means?
So in this case, choose the appropriate version you want to open it up in. We want to choose 5.2. And it's going to go ahead and open up that project in that version. Once our project is opened up, you can take a look around and you see this basic little scene. And I want to take this little scene and I want to use it inside of my project. But how do I do that? Well, we're going to use the migrate feature. For example, if I went into my EOL content folder and I went into mesh.
Whoa. Whoa, hold on. All right. So does he have more than one thing open? All right, let's minimize that. And all right, well, let's just close this because we'll load it back later. And then where's the content browser? Right here. Okay, close that. Let's save it. Let's close. Save everything. All right, so he has us opening this up. Okay. Okay, that's not, we don't need 2 of those. Here's the content browser. All right, here's the thing like you said. Okay, that's all expected.
Meshes. I might find this
So he's scrolling down into content, meshes, clicks on meshes.
floor. I can right click on the floor, choose Asset Actions, and Migrate. It'll now find all of the items that are required for this mesh that I chose, the materials, material instances, textures, the mesh itself, and allow me to export it. So I could choose OK. It's now
Wait, hold on. Asset actions. Migrate. Everything.
choose Asset Actions, and Migrate. It'll now find all of the items that are required for this mesh that I chose, the materials, material instances, textures, the mesh itself, and allow me to export it. So I could choose OK. It's now going to ask me where do I want to move it to. In this case, it's my projects folder, your first hour, content folder. I'm pulling it out of the content folder in the original project, so I need to make sure it goes in the content folder in the new project.
Oh my god. Why does this seem overcomplicated? Okay, so this is the new one. Okay. Okay, so date created, the one this is the one that we're going to migrate things to. Choose the destination folder, online learning kit, and projects. Content.
If I was to hit select folder, it'll now migrate it out. But instead, I actually want everything that's inside of here. So let's go into our maps folder. Here's our playground map. It's the one that we currently have loaded.
Maps.
And let's migrate out the entire map and everything inside of it. So we'll go ahead and migrate. You can see we have a lot more chosen this time. We'll hit OK. We'll go to our projects, first hour, content folder, and hit select. And it's going to save and migrate all those items out. Now, I didn't close my other project. It's still open. So if I was to open up my other project on our screen.
All right, that was confusing me. So it must be a normal thing to have maybe more than one of these things open at the same time. Maybe it's like you're working in one and then you transfer the finished stuff over to the other one. That kind of makes sense to me. We don't need 2 of these. Okay.
And if we look inside of here, we have an EOL content folder.
Content. EOL content folder. Okay, here's the map.
With all of our items, including the map. We can open up the map, and we can see we now have that map that was in another project inside of our new project, including all of the parts that we need. I'm going to go ahead and close down the other project, the online learning kit, since we won't need.
Okay. Get rid of online learning kit, and now we're back to the original project.
It anymore. Everything I wanted is now inside of my first hour project. Now, what if we wanted to bring in something that was our own? We've created in a third-party program, say a model or some textures, and we now want it into our project. This is where importing comes in. In my content folder, I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder. I'm going to name this one import. And I'm just...
Content. New folder, import.
It's going to show you how you would import your own assets. Inside of our import folder, we can right-click, and we can choose Import. I have some raw assets I might want to bring in. So for example, I could bring in this wave file and hit open. And it's going to bring it in, and now I have this sound file inside my project. You can also drag and drop from outside of the project. In this case, I have a skeletal mesh.
Let's see if we can import. No, it doesn't recognize the Blender file type. Oh well.
I'll drag it and drop it, and it's going to ask me what I want to do. The wave file didn't ask me what I wanted to do because it knew automatically what to do. But skeletal meshes, stack meshes, and a few other asset types have import options that we might want to change. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and import it as is. And it'll import my skeletal mesh and create anything that's needed for it. I can also choose the add button at the top, and we have the same import option. In this case, I want to, for example, bring in multiple textures, so I can multi-select them and hit open, and it'll bring them in. That's how you're going to import in external assets into your project.
Okay.
In addition, we also have Quixel Bridge. We can right-click and choose Add Quixel Content. This will open up the Bridge plugin. We can look through here and find items we might want to include in our project. For example, here's some vines. If you need to, you'll have to sign in to your Epic Games account. After we've signed...
Wait a minute. What is this Quixel stuff? What is Quixel content? Let's get that answered. What is Q what? QUIXLE. Quixel content in Unreal Engine 5. Yeah. Quixel refers to high-quality, photorealistic 3D assets and textures from Quixel Megascans, a vast library of scanned real-world assets. They're used for creating stunning environments quickly and with a cinematic level of detail. Epic Games owns Quixel. They've made their entire Megascan library free to use within Unreal Engine 5 projects. You can access it directly from the Quixel Bridge. Okay. I know people aren't very happy with some of these textures and stuff, so they would definitely be like placeholders. One of these days but we've got everything we need here to do a proof of concept. You can use it in your games royalty free. Okay. Decals and services. Okay, so that's good to know. All Quixel content is available.
Signed in, we can choose the quality that we want and download it, or we can drag the item into our world and drop it to get a preview of what it would look like inside of our world. After you've added items to your project, it'll show up in the Megascans folder under the item, and then you can go ahead and do whatever you'd like with it. And that is the basics of working with additional assets. We now know how to bring in extra content into our project.
Yes, we do.
Now that we know how to bring extra content into our project, let's go and take a few minutes to learn how to create a new basic level from scratch and then add a few things to it.
Okay.
Now up to this point, we've learned how to navigate around our project and even added extra content, but it's not quite our own. Let's start on working by creating our own new level and adding content to it.
All right,
Go up
let's
to
do it.
File, New Level, and then choose the type you want. I'm going to go with empty level and create.
Okay.
If you've made any changes or you have anything unsaved in your current map, it might ask you what you want to do. I'm going to not save any changes. And now we have a new level. It's blank, it's empty, there's nothing in it. I'd recommend saving as one of the first things you do. So let's go ahead and hit File, Save Current Level. It's going to ask us where we want to put it. I'm going to make a new folder called Maps in my Content folder. And I'm going to name this one Our Level. We now have our level, which you can see in the top left, ready to be populated with stuff. Let's go ahead and add some floors in first. How would we find our floors? We can search in the content browser by name, and we can find all the items that say floor. But right now I'm in the maps folder and there's no maps named floor. So I got to go back up to my content folder. Now we can find all the items. But we have materials, we have textures, and we have stacked meshes. And I only want the stacked meshes. We can use the filter option to the left of the search and choose stacked mesh. And now we only have the stacked meshes with the name of floor. I'm going to go ahead and choose my module's floor. Now if we wanted to, we could scale this item up. We have a scale on the right hand side. For example, I could make this 5 by 5. And now we have a very large floor.
Oh, okay. I don't, I'm not sure I understand, like, this grid here. Whoop. Okay, we're learning.
Or if I wanted to, I can click the reset button to the right, and I can drag in extra floors. But you notice these may not show up exactly where I want them. So we could duplicate a floor. If we hold down the Alt key on the keyboard and drag on one of the arrow directions, we'll duplicate in that direction. Now if I want to, I could also turn on snapping for a larger size. Let's say 100. And now when I duplicate, we can see it snaps a little bit better. It's not perfect. We might want our snapping to be 50, for example. And let's duplicate. And now we get something a little more appropriate. Go ahead and duplicate out a few more times. Give me a little bit bigger floor to work on. And now we have a basic floor that I'm going to use to put my character on and set up the rest of my level. Now if we were to play test this, we're going to run into a few problems. First of all, everything disappears. I can't see your character. I don't know what's going on. Let's go ahead and stop this, and you'll now notice everything is gone. When we dragged in our items, it simply used the default settings for them. But once we hit play, it started applying our lighting settings. And what do you know? In our outliner, we have no lighting.
There's no lighting. All right, so hold
and set
on.
up the rest of my level. Now, if we were to play test this, we're going to run into a few problems.
So he just hit and play test.
First of all, everything disappears.
There's no
You can't see
lighting.
your character. I don't know what's going on.
We didn't
Let's
put
go
any
ahead and
lights
stop
in the
this,
game.
And you'll now notice everything is gone. When we dragged in our items, it simply used the default settings for them. But once we hit play, it started applying
It's all gone. It's all missing.
our lighting settings. And what do you know? In our outliner, we have no lighting, so now we can't see anything. We can easily get around that for now by changing our different view mode in the top by clicking on lit and then choosing unlit. Now if we want, we can double click on any of our modules and we can see them in the unlit mode. We go back to lit, you'll notice they disappear again.
There
So that
we
means
go.
we
Okay.
need a light. Let's go ahead and add a directional light. If we go up to our create button on the top toolbar, lights, directional light, we can drag one in and drop it anywhere in the world. We can now go back.
Wait, slow down.
If we want, we can double click on any of our modules and we can see them in the unlit mode. We go back to lit, you'll notice they just
Okay, so we gotta, if I click on this one and go to lit. Okay, got it.
disappear again. So that means we need a
So he's fine with changing it back to unlit for starters.
light. Let's go ahead and add a directional light. If we go up to our create button on the top toolbar, lights, directional light, we can drag one in and drop it anywhere in the world. We can now go back to lit mode. We have our platforms visible now that we have a light. Next thing we want to do is play.
Wait. Oh, that's unlit. Oh, wait, tripping. Okay, there we go. Now it's lit. Okay, see now the light's going off of. Okay.
We're in the world. We can now go back to lit mode. We have our platforms visible now that we have a light. Next thing we want to do is play test again now that we can see. We'll hit play, and we see our character flying. They're
Oh,
actually
we're falling.
because we have
No.
nowhere for our character to
We're
start.
falling.
We need a player start, which is a special
All
blueprint.
right.
I'm going to go and double click to snap back up to the
All
top.
right, hold on. Stop. Where? Here, we double click. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm learning. I knew I could double click on that and get back to it. Okay, so here's the floor. All right, now what's he saying?
See? We'll hit play, and we see our character flying. They're
Okay.
actually falling.
Here, let's. There. That's better. That fixed it. Oh, this is still kind of. There we go. That's better. Perfection.
because we have nowhere for our character
Oh, you know what? I'm watching.
to start. We need a player.
I should move. I need to move this over here so I can see y'all chatting. Because I realized that I've got the tutorial window up over here, but I can't read y'all's chats if you say something. All right, now I can.
Start, which is a special blueprint. I'm going to go ahead and double click to snap back up to the top. Go back up to create, and we can look for player start. If you don't know where it is, after you click on create without moving your mouse anymore, start typing. And this will give you the search. It'll search through everything in our create menu. Drag the player start into the world and drop it. You might notice it says bad size. That means it's colliding or it's causing a problem with the item below it. We can drag it up. It will no longer say bad size. Or if we want, we can push the end key on the keyboard and it'll snap it down to the ground. Now if we hit play, our character starts on the platform. If it doesn't...
All right, wait. We did it! Do we take fall damage? No. Okay. This is great. Okay. I'm glad we stuck with it. What is going on? Oh, I've got an idea. I just want to test something real quick. So all right. So see, we can't really see anything from the bottom, and I think that's because the light's up there. So what I'm going to do, and see, we're in the lit mode. So if I go to unlit, we should see it, right? Okay. So let me go back to lit, and then we're going to insert another light, a directional light. And where is that motherfucker? There it is. All right. No, you. Come on. You are going under. Is that... Oh, wait. So it's a directional light. So hold on. So if I come down and then we point... Oh, no. Okay. Ah, I did it. Oh, wait, come on. There we go. So we point the directional light going up, and now we have both sides. So my theory was correct. Because why is all this black and we can't see it? Because there was no light. Okay. All right. And then we've got ourselves on. All right. So now when we jump off, when we go to test if there's any fall damage, because we have yet to build fall damage into our game, we should at least see how far we can fall. Yeah. See? We did it. This is the falling through the ground in World of Warcraft simulator. Everybody is extremely familiar with this happening. Okay. And then we click on it, get back. Okay, cool. The right up there. Okay, back to the tutorial.
doesn't start on the platform. The three dots next to our play mode is the ability to change where...
Wait, what are you saying?
You might notice it says bad size. That means it's colliding or it's causing a problem with the item below it. We can drag it up. It will no longer say bad size. Or if we want...
Multi-directional lights are competing to be the single one used for forward shading, translucent water, or volumetric fog. Please adjust their forward shading priority. As a fallback, the main directional light will be selected based on overall brightness. Interesting. I bet if we delete this light, yeah, we won't get that error anymore. So something about, so that's a warning for the lighting in the game, letting us know that we've got two competing values in the light system, and I don't really understand what it means beyond that, but I'll just go ahead and delete it for now, and we'll learn more as we go.
If we want, we can push the end key on the keyboard and it'll snap it down to the ground. Now if we hit play, our character starts on the platform. If it doesn't start on the platform, The 3 dots next to our play mode is the ability to change where your character spawns at. The current camera location or the default player start.
Wait, I missed
The
that.
play mode is the ability to change where we can drag it up. It will no longer say bad size. Or if we want, we can push the end key on the keyboard and it'll snap it down to the ground. Now if we hit play, our character starts on the platform. If it doesn't start on the platform, the 3 dots next to our play mode is the ability to change where your character spawns at. The current camera location or the default player start. If
Oh,
we
good
change
to
this
know.
back to the current camera location and we move out into the middle of nowhere, you'll notice our character now starts here. That's useful if you need to quickly playtest something from a specific spot. I've gone ahead and changed this back to the default player start, and now our character should spawn in that player start. Because we started with the third-person template, we automatically have our project set up for using the third-person template. That means our game mode is designed to use our third-person character with certain settings designed for it. If we go up to Edit, Project Settings, we can open up the project settings. On the left-hand side, we have maps and modes. Here we can see the default game mode is the Blueprint third-person game mode. And if we click the drop-down next to selected game mode, we can see the different properties for it. We can see we have our default pawn, or what spawns in using our player start as a third-person character, and we have some other default settings here. What we mainly care about is our default pawn class. If you were to create your own character, or your own pawn, or you want something special to control, this is where you'll change your default character that spawns in, and this is where you'll replace it in order to have your custom character spawned in. This is
All right,
also
hold
where
on.
you can change.
Hold on. I got an idea. Let me pull up the fab thing. Here we go. All right, so this is where you get the stuff. All right, now we go to, let's clear this out and let's go to 3D models. And we're going to select free for the price. Okay, now there was some like really high quality. See, there's one right there. Who else? There's a Paragon Wukong. We got like a lady. Here, character and creatures. Humans. Okay, here we go. All right, I think, let's see, we can take this guy. Okay. Paragon Gideon. No rating, it's free. It's got the standard license. Okay. Let's see if this includes the character model, animations, animation blueprints, and skins. Okay, so that means that I should now be able to add this to the library. And then can you change? We're not there yet. I guess we're not there yet, but we're getting there. That's just maps and model. Well, no, that's maps and modes. So there would be something else. Game, engine, character, control rig. Oh, what's input? Interscape, landscape. Look at all this stuff. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. Platform, okay. All right, let's get back to maps and modes.
It's the game mode. Say, for example, we imported in the first-person template, and now we want to use the first-person character and all of its settings. We could easily change the default game mode to the first-person game mode, and all those settings will work for us. Now, this is on a project level. All of our maps will use that game mode. If we wanted to override it on the level, or this individual map, we wanted each map to maybe have a different game mode, maybe a different type of default character, or some other settings, we can override that in the world settings. Going up to Window, World Settings, we now have the World Settings tab. And this is where you can override the game mode on a level basis. Maybe I have one specific for first person.
Wait, what?
world settings.
Oh, it's down there. Okay, here it is.
We now have the world settings tab. And this is where you can override the game mode on a level basis. Maybe I have one specific for first person or third person like I mentioned before. Now our world still is a little bit bland. We're kind of in this blank black area. Let's add a few more lights to get it set up. Now we can go up to the create and we can look at the lights and we can look at the different lights we have available to us. We also have different visual effects that will give us the sky look. Or we can go up to window, environment light mixer. Environment Light Mixer is a handy panel that allows to quickly add lighting to our scene using the default settings for the editor. You can see in here it shows directional light because we added our directional light. If we were to go and delete our directional light, you're now going to see it doesn't have that anymore. Now that we have no lighting, we could easily and quickly recreate a basic lighting setup by adding our skylight, atmospheric light, sky atmosphere, volumetric clouds, and height fog. This panel also will allow us to easily change all those lightings in one convenient panel, or we could select them inside of our outliner here and change the details. Now we have our basic setup where if we hit play, our character's on our platform, they have a nice sky and atmosphere setup, and they can run around. And this is the...
Oh, let's just take a minute. Let's just take a minute. Okay, that's... Like, by the time I got settled in and figured out the things that I needed to do to correctly follow this tutorial, I mean, this took, this right here took, what? 20 minutes total? I mean, if I wasn't sitting around watching tutorials and hunting around for stuff, like, this is 20 minutes worth of work, basically, once you get rolling. So that's wild to me. This is great. All of this predefined stuff, we've already got a character or a placeholder character that has direction keys, animation. It looks like it's even got an idle animation. Yeah, it's got an idle animation too. And the movement, there's no shift or anything. There's not a crouch. But we do have a game here where you can fall off the ledge and look back up at the platform you jumped off of, just like a lot of other video games. Okay. Can you rename these things? No, I guess you do that somewhere else. All right, anyway, here we go.
The basics of working with the editor. We've created our own basic level. We've brought in a floor prop. We have a character in here that we can control. And if we needed to, we could change out any of these items. Or we could go back into our content browser. Maybe we'll look for our bush again. We could add some bushes into our project. Maybe some rocks. We could duplicate out our floors by holding down the Alt key again and duplicating.
Ooh, now there's an idea. He did this, and then he selected all three, and then you hold Alt. Oh, look at that. Okay. That's even more helpful. Good to know. Now he must already have like textures and stuff added. See, meshes. Let's get rid of that. Okay, there's a crate, some walls, buildings, props, textures. Okay. All right, keep going.
You can even select multiple items, as you can see here, and duplicate in groups. And we end up with a nice little scene that we are starting our experience with. Now, this was just a brief introduction to setting up a basic level. With the tools available in the editor and what we've just learned, go ahead and take some time to set up a new basic scene and see what you can come up with.
Okay. Well, I'm happy with what we've learned so far. Now it's working with visuals. So let's try this one.
For the rest of the course, we're going to be using the sample map that's included in our project, the one that we migrated over from our online learning kit.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and find that now.
It's
Inside of our
levels.
EOL content folder, under Maps, we have the Map Playground. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. and here's our playground map. If we want, we can hit play.
Wait, get rid. There's a filter. There it is.
Folder under maps, we have the map playground. I'm
Huh.
going to go ahead and open it up, and here's our playground map. If we want, we can hit play to play test, and our little orange character drops out. Our character can run around, it has custom
Oh.
controls, it can jump, and when
Oh,
we're
look at the
done,
little guy.
we can end the playtest. Let's go
Like the
ahead and
little
look
button.
at lighting inside of this level and play with a few different things. First of all, we are using Lumen. It is the global illumination system in Unreal Engine 5 that allows the light and the color of objects to mingle together. So if we're shining a light on a blue item, when that light bounces off the blue item, it's going to be a more blue looking light, and it's going to show up on the surfaces it bounces onto. It's a great way to get a more realistic look. If we go to Edit,
All right, let me stop playing
Project
with that.
Settings, and we scroll down to the Rendering section, then we scroll down a little more, we can find
Edge it. Okay. So I want to hear him say all that again.
drops out. Our character can run around, it has custom controls, it can jump, and when we're done, we can end the playtest. Let's go ahead and look at lighting inside of this level and play with a few different things. First of all, we are using Lumen. It is the global illumination system in Unreal Engine 5 that allows the light and the color of objects to mingle together. So if we're shining a light on a blue item, when that light bounces off the blue item, it's going to be a more blue looking light, and it's going to show up on the surfaces it bounces onto. It's a great way to get a more realistic look. If we go to Edit, Project Settings, and we scroll down to the Rendering section, then we scroll down a little more, we can find Lumen is the dynamic global illumination. Illumination method. Now, if you find you're having issues with performance, you can go ahead and change it. There's none, screen space, and standalone ray tracing. I'd recommend screen space if you want global illumination, but Lumen is too much, or none if you need the most performance. We're going to keep Lumen on. Now, when working with lights, let's choose our directional light, and our main settings are going to be our intensity and our light color. Intensity, when it goes up, makes things...
Whoa. Whoa, it's... Oh, no, there's no... Too bright. Okay. What is it at? Here, let me undo. That's 6. That's a 6. Okay.
It's brighter, and when we drag it down, it makes things darker. Now you'll notice we can't really go too bright, and when we go darker, it tends to lighten up. This is auto exposure or eye adaptation.
Oh.
We can disable this temporarily by going up to lit,
Oh, we got to turn that off. Lit.
uncheck game settings, and now it's going to...
Okay. Wait.
This is auto exposure or eye adaptation. We can disable this temporarily by going up to lit, uncheck game settings, and now it's going to lock it to a default value. You can see we can go very bright or very dark. I'm going to go and reset this to our defaults. Our skylight, if we were to go ahead and click on this and adjust its intensity, is going to whiten.
Lighting. Lighting skylight. Intensity scale right here. Oh! Wow, that goes up. It goes up to 50,000, and it already looks bright like at a couple hundred, and that's a 1. I don't understand. Okay.
Out everything or darken everything. Let's reset that as well. You can also disable your items by clicking the eyeball in the outliner.
I'm much more worried about figuring out gameplay than lighting stuff. Lighting can come later. We'll focus on gameplay first. And we'll make lighting part of the gameplay too, but...
And you can now see we have a black scene because our directional light, which is like our sun, and the majority of
Okay.
our light was disabled, and our skylight,
Okay.
which helps brighten up our shadows, was disabled. So let's actually look at a little bit more of those different types of lights. Like I mentioned, the directional light is more like our sun. It blankets light over everything in one direction. We can adjust the intensity to make it brighter or darker, and we can adjust the light color to give us a nice overall color tinting everything.
Yeah, we can change that too. Where's that directional light? There we go. We can go pink. It's just that directional light really gets everything. Oh, that's really trippy. All right. Okay, edit light color, done.
Everything in our scene. Let's say, for example, we went with like a green. We can adjust the angle. If we double click on our directional light, we can see our directional light is here. We can change to our rotation and rotate, and our light is going to move.
Oh, let's try that.
Because we have
Let me see that. This is the directional light. And then this is, there we go. Oh, look at that. It's facing. Oh, there's a sun. It's like a sunset. Oh, okay. So it's almost like a sun kind of deal. And this is the horizon. Oh, I get it. Okay. And that'll make all the... Okay. Well, that's good to know. Look at that. Let's just do that real quick. I want to see something. Look at that. We made it. Look, the game... Yeah. Okay. I'm having such a good time right now. This is cool. We're figuring out cool shit. All right. Let's go. Let's make it back to midday. Oh, come on. There we go. Now it's midday. All right, cool. All right, so leaving all that.
We have all of our lights set up together. We have a sun disk. We can see when I rotate it lower, our lights will change to a different color, and our sun is in a different location. Let's reset my light color to white. We can get a little bit better effect. You can see as it goes below the horizon, we get a little bit of an orange effect, mimicking more of a natural sunlight effect. We can also hold down the Control and L key. We'll get a widget, and when we move our mouse, it gives us a little bit more interactive control over where...
Wait a minute. Control L? Oh, look at this. Okay, that's wild. I wish they'd show me. Control L. Huh.
our directional light will be.
Control L. Maybe it's because I'm moving the thing. L. Maybe we hold control? No? There we go. We have to hold control. That's what it is. All right. Well, that is absolutely fascinating. So, and we're going back to Okay, actually, we'll leave a little bit of the shadow on there. Okay. Okay, good to know. Keep going.
The skylight, when we click on it, this controls our ambience or our
The power, yes, the power of the sun is in the palm of my hand. I really, it's good that I'm getting introduced to these things. Like the lighting is something that we will worry about much later. We got to build a guy. We got to have him be able to run and jump and crouch and swing, and you know, attack and all that different kind of stuff first.
our bounce.
But all that is relatively basic. I mean, you see how basic it is now. Like I come into here, and I mean this is a placeholder. So, and this asset is for educational. So like I could use this little guy as the placeholder, and then just get to, you know, making the dialogue system or the inventory system. Like the basics of it's all right here. I'm basically going to build myself a sandbox. I mean, this is a sandbox, but I'll build myself my own little sandbox for my project. And like, I can see they're like making a really big flat thing and putting like one house here and some trees over there. And, just for proof of concept, you know, it's like, oh, if you walk up to those two guys over in the corner of the really big square that the world is, they'll try to attack you or something. It's, we're gonna have some cool proof of concept stuff. All right, let me take a quick 3-minute break for a bio, and we'll be right back because I am about to float out of my chair. So give me 3 minutes, and we'll pick up the lesson for Unreal Engine 5. Okay, and we're back. All right, great. Resuming.
Lighting. It's the lighting and the shadows. It's the overall general lighting, and it complements our directional light. Let me adjust the light color to something a little more like green or blue.
Wait, skylight instance. Okay, so he's changing the color on the skylight. what did he click to get there?
Lighting. It's the lighting and the shadows. It's the overall general lighting, and it complements our directional light. Let me adjust the light color.
Oh. Oh, look at it makes the shadows. The shadows have like a tint to them. Okay, well these are interesting visual effects. I don't really give a damn about these. The visual effects is probably the easiest thing to take care of in a game nowadays. That's probably like the worst. You know, we don't need to worry about. We have all these tools. We don't need to worry about graphics now. I'm sure I'm oversimplifying things. I know a lot goes into making a level design look good and atmospheric and stuff.
Just something a little.
But it seems, you know, it seems like it's pretty easy these days with all this tooling. Like, why hasn't gameplay improved?
More like green or blue. I like blue. You notice now our floor is white, and the items directly in the path of our sun are white. But the shadows, or the items that are shadowed, now have this blue color. And that's what our skylight gives us, that little shadow color or ambient light. It's a great way to get a little bit of a mood where your directional light can affect everything else directly. There are other additional lights. If we go up to our create menu and go to lights, we have other options such as point light, spotlight, and rect light. Point lights are just a little light that emits from a point in space. We can see here. Spotlights give us the ability to put a...
Wait, you hold on. Let's play with this. So everything's lit. Oh, I know. Let's move the point light over here. Get it down there. Okay. Oh, no, I see it affecting the shadow over there. Oh, look at that. There we go. Okay, cool. Now, what if we went to our this is the sky atmosphere, right? This is the sky atmosphere. Yeah, that's this one. So, and that's the directional light. So if I took the directional light and I did the rotate and we rotated it this way. So it's, oh, perfect. That's what I was expecting. Look at that. Okay. All right, now we move it back to, and now we can move this around and we can see, translate the object. So I'll see the shadows are getting bigger. You can put it actually in the ground. So if we were to move the shadows all the way over here, yeah. Okay. Okay, very cool. Now, there's another thing he's talking about called a spotlight. So let's try that one. Lights. Spotlight. Okay, here we go. There. So we lit things where it's kind of dark.
A light in a direction that comes out in a cone. And rect lights give us the ability to make a light that comes out in a rectangle shape. This is great, for example, mimicking like a TV screen or something that has a flat lit surface. Now,
Ooh. We gotta rotate it. Oh, get up there. Okay, so now if we move it this way. See, what I'm trying to do is get this rectangle light over by the door. There we go. And now let's move it over there. Okay, and let's turn the intensity. 0.65. What about 0.9? That's a 0.9. How about a 0.3? There we go. Okay. Let's see this real quick. Oh, okay. See, look. All right. So we got all our lighting. Now there's no. We didn't actually like. There should be like a light source hanging from the ceiling. Oh, but look at the door. Look at the door. I did it. I fucking did that. Do you see? Did you see that? That looks good. That look, because it has these light emitting things, and I put the rectangle right there, and I placed it, and it looks like that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay. All right, we're getting somewhere. All right, now let's back up real quick, and we'll go over to the directional light. Let's focus on it, and we come over here, and we need it to be day again because we're done playing with the light. And let's make it nice and bright. There we go. Whoop, no, make it daytime. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, that was a moment. I'm glad y'all were here to share that. Okay, this is fun.
Now let's go ahead and
I'm having a good time.
look at that auto exposure. We can go up to our project settings, and we can look for auto exposure, and we have the ability to
Wait, what? All right, that's a little too intense.
put a light.
Hold on. We just want some ambient. We just want some ambient Skyrim. This says relaxing Skyrim music for mind healing and deep work. Okay, I can dig it.
In a direction that comes out in a cone. And rec lights give us the ability to make a light that comes out in a rectangle shape. This is great for example mimicking like a TV screen or something that has a flat lit surface. Now let's go ahead and look at that auto exposure. We can go up to our project settings, and we can look for auto exposure, and we have the ability to disable it on a project level, so that way our light will be fixed. Or we can add what's known as a post-process volume. Under create, volumes,
Wait. Or
hit
do
that
what?
auto exposure. Rect light, skylight gives us create menu and go to lights. We have other options such as point light in space, that comes out in a cone. And rec lights give us the ability to make a light that comes out in a rectangle shape. This is great for example mimicking like a TV screen or something that has a flat lit surface. Now let's go ahead and look at that auto exposure. We can go up to our project settings, and we can look for auto exposure, and we have the ability to disable it on a project level, so that way our light will be fixed. Or we can add what's known as a post-process volume. Under create, volumes, we can find the post-process volume and
Post-process volume. There it is right there.
drag it in. We can look for auto exposure inside of here.
Okay, so we're clicking on this. And now he's searching in the details tab. Auto exposure. Okay.
Under auto exposure, we can go to the metering mode, and we'll change this to manual.
Auto exposure. Meeting mode. Manual. Okay.
And if we were to go up to our lit mode and change it back to game settings, we're not really going to see any change.
Okay, so we go back up. And we're lit. Okay. So I don't really see any change.
Our post-process volume is a volume. It's a block, it's a cube, and it only affects the things inside of it. We'd have to go ahead and uncheck auto exposure for our search, scroll down, and we're looking for infinite extent unbound. And
Oh. under there it is right there. Infinite extent unbound.
And when we check this, it's now going to go ahead and affect the entire level. We can now find our exposure compensation, and this is where we can adjust this to set it to a fixed level. Maybe we want something like 8. And now we have a fixed value no matter what's going to happen with our lights. We can go back, of course, to like our directional light. We can change its intensity up and down. And our auto exposure is not going to brighten up things that are too dark or darken up things that are too bright. We've now got a fixed auto exposure level. And now you can set your lighting to be the exact way you want, and you don't have to worry about it changing.
Oh, okay. So we added this post-process volume to basically override on this particular level the like eye adjustment effect that seems to be on by default. It's no wonder people are complaining, because some of these default settings, if you want your game to look unique, you have to turn them off. And I bet a lot of people are just like making a game in here and then shipping the game without changing any of that stuff, and that's why people are complaining that Unreal Engine 5 makes games look like crap. That does not surprise me at all. And you know, I think yes, let's use the free Unreal Engine store marketplace assets as placeholders, but before the game ships, we redo all the textures and the art and figure out what the art style is and update all the models and textures. All right. What was I going to do? I was going to that's the directional light. I was gonna make it a bit brighter. Yeah, look at all that. That's kind of washed out. There we go. That's a bit bunch. That's okay. We'll mess with it
Let's
later.
go ahead and give ourselves a little bit more of a fun little effect by giving ourselves a God ray, or it looks like light shafts coming into our level.
Okay.
But we're going to need something for it to come through.
This is all graphic stuff, and I really could care less right now. I'm more interested in creating gameplay elements, but yeah, it's good to know, because we'll have to start making levels and stuff eventually.
Let's click on.
We gotta have the when you're sneaking through the castle late at night, you should be able to take a torch off the wall and put the torch out, and then that way people can't see you. Or if you take the torch out and you carry it with you, people can see you even better. So that's going to come into play. The lighting, all that stuff, but not yet.
On one of our walls in our level, we're going to look for window in our content browser. And we can find we have a modular window. Now I can drag this window in, and I can delete the old one.
Oh, wait a second.
Looks like light shafts coming into our level. Maybe we want something like 8. And now we have a fixed value no matter what's going to happen with our lights. We can go back, of course, to like our directional light. We can change its intensity up and down. And our auto exposure is not going to brighten up things that are too dark or darken up things that are too bright. We've now got a fixed auto exposure level. And now you can set your lighting to be the exact way you want, and you don't have to worry about it changing. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a little bit more of a fun little effect by giving ourselves a God ray, or it looks like light shafts coming into our level. But we're going to need something for it to come through. Let's click on one of our walls in our level. We're going to look for window in our content browser. And we can find we have a modular window. Now I can drag this window in, and I can delete the old one, or we can replace. With the wall selected inside of our viewport and our outliner, and the window selected in our content browser, we can right click on the wall, we can choose replace selected actors with, and then it's going to show us the one we have selected.
Do
You
what
can find
now?
we have a modular window. Now I can drag this window in, and I can delete the old one, or we can replace. With the wall selected inside of our viewport and our outliner, and the window selected in our content browser, we can right-click on the wall. We
Oh,
can
on the
choose
wall.
Replace selected
Oh. There it is right there.
actors with, and then it's going to show us the one we have selected. We click on that, and we now have a window where we once had a wall. Let's go ahead and adjust our light. So we'll find our directional light, and I'm going to rotate it so that way it is a light shaft coming through where we have a nice long shadow coming in from.
Okay. All right, hold on. Okay. Let's replace this window over here too. Got it. Okay. All right, cool.
From our light. On our directional light, let's look for light shaft. And we have a few options. We have light shaft occlusion, and we have light shaft bloom. Let's turn on light shaft bloom. Let's go ahead and move our...
Where are you? Okay, so direction light. Directional light, got it. Light shaft bloom. Where is he? Light shafts. Did he search? He searched for it. Lights. Okay, light shaft bloom. He checked that off. Okay.
character down, and now we can see we have this really cool bloom effect. We can see we enable and disable it, and we get a nice little god ray effect. And our character can run through our level, and they have this fun little effect that adds a lot of atmosphere just by changing a few properties. And this is something important to note. There are hundreds of settings and properties available to you on the included items inside the editor. You might be thinking, oh, I need to create something by scratch. I want this really cool effect. How do I do it? When it might already be available to you. And that's why I'd recommend you look at the documentation for specific features you might want to try to use rather than recreating it by hand. Now, the last thing of note when working with lighting,
you know what he said? He just said RTFM. That's what he said.
is the lighting mobility types. I'm going to go back to my directional light. Let's clear out my search. And at the top, we have
Okay, what are we doing? Where's the directional light? Up here. Okay, so we got the directional light. What's he doing?
mobility.
Go back.
Do it when it might already be available to you. And that's why I'd recommend you look at the documentation for specific features you might want to try to use.
That
rather
motherfucker
than
said read the
recreating it by
manual.
hand.
He
Now,
said read
last
the
thing of
effing
note when
manual.
working with lighting is the lighting mobility types.
Tell me
I'm gonna
about
go back
lighting
to my
mobility.
directional light. Let's clear out my search. And at the
Okay.
top, we have mobility.
I got you.
We have static, stationary, and movable. Static lighting is
Wait, you're under transform. And here's your mobility. Okay, got you.
clear out my search. And at the top, we have mobility.
We're looking at this over
We have
here.
static, stationary, and movable.
Okay.
Static lighting is lighting that can't be changed in the game. It is fixed. It's baked out using the light mask bake.
Okay, so you use static when you need to adjust the lighting somehow. Like you built the level and like the corner isn't lit properly, so you'll use static to. Oh wait, I shouldn't have clicked on that. Where's right there, the directional light. Okay, cool. So we got static. What else?
Baker, and it will never change. But the advantage of it is basically 0% performance hit. It's free performance for your lights. We have stationary. We have the ability for shadows to be changed, but the lighting itself can't change. So keep that in mind. And the performance is between static and movable. And the last one is movable. The colors can be changed dynamically. The shadows can be changed
Okay, so we want like magic. We want like a fire spell to be the movable lighting type. And then we want a campfire to be a stationary type of light. And then we want a static light to be some sort of cosmetic basically some sort of like cosmetic or gameplay decision.
dynamically. Everything is dynamic. You're also going to need movable if you want to use lumen, because lumen requires movable for global illumination purposes. So keep these in mind, and depending on your project, for example, a mobile device might want to use static lighting, while a high-end PC may want to use movable. With this, you can see how powerful of a tool lighting can be to control
Yes.
the look and feel of your scene. If you changed any of your lights to stationary or static, remember to build your lighting or put them back to movable for the rest of this course.
Okay. Wait, say that again.
Project, for example, a mobile device might want to use static lighting, while a high-end PC may want to use movable. With this, you can see how powerful of a tool lighting can be to control the look and feel of your scene. If you changed any of your lights to stationary or static, remember to build your lighting or put them back to movable for the rest of this course.
Okay. Well, everything's as movable, so we're good. All right, so the next is working with blueprints.
When we look around our test map, we can see quite a bit of content, including a button that we can see right here. Now,
There
you
it
might
is.
be thinking to yourself, that's cool, but I want 3 buttons. Now I need to make this button 3 different times and set it up 3 different times.
No.
But no. With blueprints, you can skip the repetitive part of design and get right to the fun. Let's go ahead and click on the button.
All right.
And on the right, we have the edit to click to edit the blueprint. And we'll
Which
open
button?
up our blueprint graph.
Edit.
We're not covering blueprints in detail. We have other courses and documentation
You
on that.
son of a bitch. I want to know about the
We're going to take a
blueprints.
quick look at what blueprints are going to give to us and make available to us.
Okay.
In the middle here by default, we have our event graph. This is where our code or blueprint nodes are going to show up. We also have our viewport, which is our visual representation of the items inside of our blueprint. And that's the basics of it. It's a collection of things that are known as components, and then code that may interact with
Wait, what
things
did he
that are
do
known as
here?
components, and then code that may interact with that component.
Okay, I like that.
It doesn't have to. You can have things automated. You don't need the blueprint scripting code inside of here. A lot of things can be automated using just components. When we create a blueprint in our project, it's one asset, but we can duplicate it as many times as we want in our level. Each one of those is unique, and they become what is known as an instance of that blueprint. This means all of the code and each of the components on those blueprints are considered unique to that instance, and any changes we make to that instance only apply to that one. Blueprints are not the only thing in the engine that can have instances. For example, we can have a material instance that allows us to easily create unique materials. Let's take a look at how we can use blueprints and materials together. Now, I mentioned we might need to duplicate this multiple times if we want 3 different buttons. Let's actually look at how we could easily reuse this. I'm going to drag my button out of my content browser, use my Alt key, and I'm going to duplicate it 3 times. Now, looking at each one of these, they're comprised of different components. We can see we have a frame stack mesh, we have a button, and then we have collision. And our button is made up of a stack mesh and a material. If we open up this material, we could easily reuse this. I'm going to drag my button out of my content browser, use my Alt key, and I'm going to duplicate it 3 times. Now, looking at each one of these, they're comprised of different components. We can see we have a frame stack mesh, we have a button, and then we have collision. And our button is made up of a stack. We can see we have a
Frame. Oh, this is it. This is the default scene root component. Cannot be copied, renamed, or deleted. Yeah, because if you do that, then you break everything you build on top of it.
frame
I learned that from modding Skyrim.
stack mesh, we have a button, and then we have
Button.
collision.
Collision.
And our button
okay.
is made up of a stack mesh and a material. If we open up this material by double clicking on it, it will look different than what an actual material looks like, because this is a material instance.
How did you do that?
This material by double clicking on it,
Oh. Oh, okay. All right.
it will look different than what an actual material looks like because this is a material instance. If we were to scroll down and we look at parent and double click on it, this is our actual material.
Wait, what?
Material instance. If we were to scroll down and we look at parent and double click on it,
Parent.
this is our
Double
actual
click.
material. We can go in a little bit
Okay.
farther and we can see all the complicated math that comes into making this material. But what we care about is there is an instance of it that has specific settings, such as the color of it.
What did he click on?
Into making this material. But what we care about
Oh, he went back over here.
is
All right.
there is an instance of it that has specific settings, such as the color. We can change our color to, let's say, a blue. We'll hit OK.
No, slow down, Speedy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, well, there's a
When we
blue.
go back out, now you'll see all of our buttons are blue.
Okay, let's see it. Oh, there we go.
We didn't have to change any code or get into the dirty, messy parts of the material to make it blue. Now, if we find this material instance glow, we can click Browse to MI Glow in Content Browser underneath the material.
Do what now?
We can find where it's at. You notice it has a little star next to it. That means that we have a change. It hasn't been saved. I'm going to go ahead and open up a material instance glow. I'm going to make this white again because I want my default to be white. For my glow and save it.
How did you click
I'm
that?
going to go ahead and open up a material instance glow. I'm going to make this
Oh, there's a save button right up there, duh.
white again because I want my default to be white for my glow and save it. I can right click and I can duplicate this one. I'll duplicate it twice. We're going to change this to glow blue and we'll change it to glow red.
Oh, I see what he doing. Okay, so no. Here we go. And he said right click. He said duplicate. Am I glow blue? Yep, and then he duplicate again. Am I glow red? Yes? Let's see.
To it. That means that we have a change. It hasn't been saved. I'm going to go ahead and open up a material instance glow. I'm going to make this white again because I want my default to be white for my glow and save it. I can right click and I can duplicate this one. I'll duplicate it twice. We're going to change this to glow blue
Okay, we did that.
and we'll change it to glow red.
Very good.
Now if we go into the glow blue, but
Let me ask you, we're going to go here to the blue one. We're going to open it up in the glow blue. We're going to change that. We'll hit OK. We'll hit save. Okay, now we can close that. Then glow red. And we click and make it red. There we go. And we're going to save. Okay, now we can close that, I'm pretty sure. And now here we are. So what we're going to end up doing is assigning a color to each one of those objects, I'm pretty
by double
sure.
clicking on it and changing its glow to a blue color. And then we do the same thing with glow red. And we change its glow to a red color. We'll go back inside of our playground, and we have a glow blue, and a glow red.
We do.
And each of our buttons can have their own setup. On the button, under glow, we'll make this one red.
Oh, so he's just dragging and dropping. So we click here, and we drag and drop it right there. And then we click here, and we drag and drop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, because I got to click on the button, the actual button, because it's got like the frame and then the button within it. So there's this thing so it's two different objects in one container. So we got to click on the actual object, and then we got to drag this over here. Boom, now we got, okay, so we got red, white, and blue, or red, blue, and white.
And for the next button, on the button itself, under glow, we'll make this one blue. And now we have 3 different buttons in our world with 3 different colors. But they're all using the same blueprint, so all the code and logic applies to them. They just visually look different by using different instances. And we could easily add more colors just by duplicating our original instance and changing it to a different color that we like. Now if we open up our push button blueprint and we go into our event graph, this is our code. And we're going to look at the code at a high level. Code will start somewhere.
Wait a minute. Push, here's the push button blueprint. Okay.
Push button blueprint, and we go into our event graph. This is our code. And we're going to look at the code at a high level. Code will start somewhere. In this case, we have an event called begin play, and it will go to the right based on our white wires. Our white execute wires say keep going this way, do the next thing, and continue on. In this case, we're simply storing where the button's location is into a variable called starting location. That way, when we animate it, we always know where it goes back to. Down here, we have something called an overlap. So when we walk over our button, we play a timeline, and that's going to go ahead and make our button move up and down by setting the location over time. That's why when we look at our buttons, when we play and we walk over them, we'll notice the button goes down or the button goes back up. And that is based on our 2 different events inside of our blueprint, when we walk over it or when we end collision. Before I mentioned there was another way where you can use blueprints without code but still have the components do things. If we were to look at our platform here and we open it up, you'll notice there's no...
What's he looking at? Moving platform. Back up.
Our platform here.
Oh, he's looking at that. Okay.
And we open it up.
Which one did he click on?
Our platform here. And we open it up.
He just hits this one. Edit BP. Edit blueprint. Okay.
You'll notice there's no code. But when we play, our platform goes up and down.
Yeah. So what manner of sorcery is this? Where we have a platform going up and down, but no blueprints for it. That's a little janky. Well, the graphics look great. This is just a demo. It's hard to screw the graphics up nowadays, I guess.
Oh. That is because the component on here, called interp to movement or interpolate movement, is set up to move our platform up and down based on settings inside of the component.
Okay.
And any changes we make to that instance to change the look of one of the components on our blueprint instances only apply to that one. So that's another strength of blueprints. We have the ability to add functionality to our project in a visual way, and a lot of the time without actually getting into code. It's more of just setting some things.
Okay, so there's 2 more sections for this tutorial. This one is packaging for sharing. Package our project to share with others. All right.
After learning the basics of the editor and the features available to us, we're going to go ahead and take a look at packaging the project into a version we can playtest or even share with others so they can play our project. Let's get right into packaging our project. If we
Okay.
go up to platforms, we're currently on Windows. We can go to Windows, Package Project. Now if we attempt to do this, we're going to run into an error. This is letting us know that the SDK, or the software development kit for Windows, is not installed properly. and we need that installed in order to package for Windows. Let's hit cancel, go back up to platforms. All of our different platforms will require a SDK, as well as it might require a set of platform software installed for the engine. If we go down to Windows, we can see at the bottom that we don't have anything installed for Windows, or Android, we have nothing installed for Android. Because I'm on a Windows machine, my Windows platform is already installed. If I want to build for Android, it's going to tell me the binaries for this target platform are not installed. Would you like to use the launchers to download them? And in order to install them, you'd go back to your launcher, choose the drop-down button next to the version you want, and go to Options. And if we scroll down, we can see all the platforms available to us.
Well, now wait a second here. Options. Oh, okay. I don't really no, I don't care about Android. Don't care about iOS. But we do like the Linux one. Okay.
To us. If I wanted to target Android, I'd have to install the platform software for it. In this case, we're going to just test for Windows. Going back to platforms, Windows, we can see we need to install a version of the SDK between 10.0 and 10.9. So you're going to need to make sure you install the latest Windows SDK to continue on and package for Windows. I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and we'll be right back.
Okay. So we need Windows SDK 10.0, 10.9. Windows SDK 10.0, 10.9. This is for Windows 11. Windows 11, Windows 10 release. Ten point two. What? Platforms? Windows 10 allowed SDK versions up to 1.9. Okay, that's fine. So here's the Windows released in September 2024. Install the SDK. Let's put that on the desktop. Developer.microsoft. Can't be reached right now. Check your internet connection. Microsoft Defender Smart Screen is unreachable and can help you decide if this is okay. Publisher Microsoft Corporation. I think it's fine. Okay. Estimated disk space required 3.5 gigabytes. Wow, that's bigger than I thought. No. I guess we need everything. Have fun. Whoa. Okay. And while that's going, we'll play our game really quick. Yay. There's no run, and we need crouch, and we need dash, and we need blink, and we need crouch, and we need pickpocket. But it's a start. Get up there. Get up there. There we go. And then there's an invisible wall, so you can't actually get over. Well, it's like I know there's a light over here because I put it there, but the lighting effects are so good that the sunshine is washing out the lighting effect from here. So that's awesome. And then we got some volumetric, some God rays through there. Man, that looks good. Okay. That should be done down. Oh, no. Oh, we are downloading. I'm going to post a link to this tutorial in the Discord. Oh. It looks like Fug has been creating some stuff in Blender. That's funny. Here, let me show you. Fug made a 3D model of some aviators. That's great. Oops. Oh, that's right. I was going to post this in Unreal Engine 5. Okay. You can do this tutorial. You just have to know that you can install previous versions and install and use the same version the tutorial uses. V5.2. This was surprisingly easy. I learned a lot. I can't wait to get in. Like, we're learning the basics now. I can't wait till we're doing some advanced stuff. But we gotta learn to walk before we gotta learn to crawl before we can walk, and we gotta learn to walk before we can run. So, all right. So we got done with that. We can close that. I liked this response. That was the best response. Nice and short and sweet. Thank you. Let's move that over there. We might mess with these models later. So here is where we're getting our tutorials and stuff from. There it is right there. Okay, so package for sharing. We've got the source developer kit installed.
Now we can go back to platforms.
Now we can go back to platforms.
And refresh our platform status to update. And when we go back to Windows and package, it's no longer going to give us the error message. Now we need to choose where.
But what did you click on?
Now we can go back to platforms and refresh our platform status to update. And when we go back to Windows and package.
Oh, it's packaged. Okay, so he goes here. And then it's Windows, and then package project. Very well.
Package, it's no longer going to give us the error message. Now we need to choose where we want to package this project. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my desktop in a folder called test build, and select the folder and let it package. It's going to start packaging your project. It may take a little bit of time. If you want, you can click show output log. The output log will show up and tell you what it's doing. You can also dock this so that way it's next to, for example, your content browser, and you can keep track of it. Depending on the size of your project, this may take a little bit of time. And here we can see packaging is completed. And now that the packaging is complete, inside of our test build folder, we have a Windows folder because, well, I built to Windows. Inside of here, we have the executable file for my first hour, the name of our project, and then any of the required files to go along with it. If we double click the executable file, it'll go ahead and start up our first hour project. And here we can see we have our first hour project. But it may not be quite
Hold on.
what you expected. It's going to load up the default map for our game set in our game mode. So we're going to have to remember to fix that. Also, the escape key doesn't allow us to quit out because that was only in the play in editor feature. Since we built out for development mode, which is our default, we do still have access to the console though. You can push the tilde key on your keyboard and type in quit, or if that doesn't work,
Okay. Packaging project for when it's still going. Must be stuck or something. Is there a prompt or anything up there somewhere? No. Let's do this. Let's save the project and let's just restart. We might need to restart the computer because we installed that SDK. Let's launch it again. We're in Unreal Engine, so we go to library. Let's load the online learning project. New plugins are available. Manage plugins. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay, so it was aborted. Yes. All right, let's try that again. Platforms, Windows, package project, in the test build folder, select folder. Okay. We're probably going to have to troubleshoot that. Okay. It seems to be freezing right here, and we did install the SDK, so I'm going to do like a full restart, and that will probably take care of everything because I want to make sure I can package the game before we go any further. I want to be able to send this to friends and stuff. So we're gonna restart. We've been at it for the first half, so we've already been at it for 3 hours. I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take an hour break now, and when I get back in an hour, we'll just resume the stream for the rest of the day instead of just restarting and taking a break. So I'll see, and I hope to have even more cool stuff figured out in Unreal Engine by then. See ya.